All right, guys, in today's video, I have something super special for you. We're going to be talking about the real reason why most people, probably yourself watching this video, cannot find winning offers in high ticket sales in 2024 and onwards. Now, before you click off the video thinking that it's networking, we're not going to be talking about networking specifically today. Although it is an important part of the process, it's not what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the third and final skill in the skill tree that allows you to find and get these winning offers and acquire them, work for them, right? Work with them. So this video was actually inspired by having a conversation with one of my clients who've been working with a couple months now inside my RSA mastermind, where we take beginners from complete zero to their goals, which most of you watching these videos is 10K a month, right? That's usually what most of you are aiming for. That's what you're marketed to. So we talk about 10K a month as the usual beginner's milestone. And we got to talking and he said, Connor, I'm at a bit of a crossroads here. I've been doing this for a while, I've been doing this for a couple months. I follow your process step by step. I use the networking processes and the strategy to generate infinite interviews to the point where I have more interviews than I know what to do with. I'm taking X amount of interviews per week. And then when I get these interviews, I know how to conduct them. I know how to demonstrate my capability. I know how to communicate well. I know how to exceed the expectations as compared to the rest of the candidates, just like you've taught me. And I get 80% of the interviews that I have, I pass through and I actually get a job offer. But what I'm finding is when I get these jobs, when I go work with these offers, I find out the marketing is shot. The client fulfillment is not good. The sales processes in place aren't great. Maybe the sales manager sucks. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Maybe it's any of 100 different things that can compile into a non-winning coaching business or a business that won't allow you to make the money that you want. And I said, can you see the clear problem here? He said, no, what is it? And I said, the thing that you're missing is practicing your screening skills. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. The thing that client is missing is making decisions out of choice and not desperation. Building a system so that you can make good decisions to understand whether or not the company is going to enable you to make the money that you want and reach your own individual personal income goals. Stay with me here. Now, why is this skill so important? Why is screening, which I'm going to explain technically what that is here in a second, why is that so critical and a big part of this whole process? Well, with the coaching industry, you may or may not know by now, but the coaching, e-learning, education industry, anyone can start a business in that industry, in that market, right? All you need is a laptop, a Wi-Fi connection, and boom, you are now magically a coach and you can coach on whatever you want. You don't need any credentials. You don't need any certificate. You don't need to go to university. Anybody can coach on whatever they want to. And while this is a fantastic opportunity for a lot of people who can help a lot of people with their skill and profession, it also is a huge drawback, right? Because this leaves the barrier to entry very low. And what this means to you is there's a lot of businesses out there that aren't basically going to be the up to standard to where you need them to be to make the money that you want. Let me give you some statistics that I read somewhere. I may be incorrect, but this is what I've read and what I've seen in an article. Up to 50% of the coaching market, up to 50% of those businesses earn less than $1,000 per month, right? That's a big portion of them. And just 20% of coaching businesses last longer than 2 years. That's a very high statistic, very high statistic. Now, yes, it's very similar to a traditional business, a startup business, right? The failure rate's really high. But the reason it's so much higher for this level of business is you don't need a loan from the bank to start these businesses. You don't need all these debts and whatever and so, right? you can, like I mentioned before, have a laptop, a Wi-Fi connection, and you are set up and good to go. So even if you generate more interviews you know what to do with, which all my clients know how to do, and even if you know how to close on an interview, even if you have no experience, or even if you have experience, it doesn't matter, right? The skills are the important part here of like how you actually close the deal, you close the client. Even if you can do both those two things, you need to have a well thought out strategy and a plan that you can execute on to, or a framework that you can think through so that you can actually assess these companies to find out if they are a winner or not for you and your personal individual goals. That might be monetary, that might be other things, right? I don't know you and your situation, but you need to plot and plan that out for yourself. Now, what can this look like? Well, number one, I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, having someone who is experienced in that process, I'm not just saying this because I sell a program, I generally do mean this. Having someone who's experienced and has the ability to tell you what is shit and what is not is going to be a massive pro, a massive thing that's going to play to your advantage. Just by having someone with experience, maybe it's not me, but maybe it's someone that you found in the industry that can tell you right from wrong. Because the thing is, all too often I see beginners in marketers, training programs alike, they go and work with dead agencies or coaches that are excited entrepreneurs, and then you end up doing 40% of the work, 50% of the work for just 10% of the cut. And then you realize that because the business is only making $10,000 a month, you can only make $1,000 a month at best, right? But these are things you can only tell with experience. So again, it's not some direct value I can give to you right now, but you have to understand that leaning on someone with experience is going to be massively impactful for you. And that's why I'm a huge advocate of mentorships entering into the world of high ticket sales, as with any make money online vehicle or really anything you do. Okay. So number one's experience. That's going to help you out a lot. Number two is actually kind of mapping out your goals. So what do you actually want? If you want to make 5K a month as an appointment setter, well, you need to understand if the math actually adds up to whether or not you can do that. For example, like the example I just gave earlier about, the marketing agency doing $10,000 a month, a lot of new guys, a lot of beginners get really excited when they see internet money or they get their first job and they go and work with these companies and they expect they're going to make 5K a month, but then they don't realize and do the simple math of, if the company's not doing 50K a month, you cannot make 5K a month, right? We have to understand that. We have to understand what I like to call the third grade math. If the business isn't doing enough numbers, you are betting on that the company will eventually get there to achieve your goals. Now, myself personally, I don't like betting on another company. I like to know that there is a situation where I can succeed in working in a business. So you have to be aware again and run the numbers. Can I actually make the money that I want on this account? Right? That's the next thing, right? So goals, the third grade math. I think the third and final tip that I will give you, as well as the experience, as I mentioned earlier, is what I like to call proof of concept. So proof of concept is really, really important, and it's so simple, but don't let this fly over your head. And actually listen to what I'm about to say and tell you. If someone is not making the money that you want on the offer that you're looking at, again, you're not betting that the business will get to that revenue, like I said earlier, but well, I mean, you kind of are, but the thing is, in this circumstance, you're again just kind of betting that the business is actually going to get to where you want it to be, so you can make them the income that you want. And if someone isn't already making the money that you want on the offer, what that shows and tells me is lack of proof of concept. And again, proof of concept is very important when you're going into a commission-based role where you're paid and rewarded based off your efforts and your performance, right? This is what high ticket sales, this is what sales is for the vast majority as a career. And so again, proof of concept is a very, very powerful thing. If someone's making the money that you want to make, Well, you now know all you have to do is go in and follow the process that the company already has in place, and you can make the money that you want, right? That's probably the main couple things: experience, what are your goals, and third and finally is proof of concept. Is someone actually making the money that you want on the offer right now, right? Not a couple months ago, not 2 months ago, but right now. When you start to really take this part of the process of job acquisition a lot more seriously, you'll find that you actually start to find and get the offers that you want. Because again, like I mentioned earlier, you want to make decisions based off choice and not desperation. If you're making decisions based off one offer that you have in front of you, or the first offer that you see as a beginner, you get really excited about, 9 times out of 10 times, it doesn't work out well for you. I was chatting to another client inside the RSA Mastermind just recently of, hey, I got these messages from this offer. What do you think? And I go, no, it's not an ideal offer. And I was like, do you know why? And he's like, well, the business doesn't seem like it's where we need it to be. And there's nobody making money on the account. And I'm like, bang on. And that's tying directly back to what I mean about experience and what I said earlier, because you cannot tell that unless you've had experience or you have someone with experience. I've been doing this for 5+ years now, and I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. So that's it, guys. Focus on screening, focus on asking better questions, getting a better understanding of what the offer actually is and what is involved, and start mapping out what are the questions you can actually ask these businesses so that you can become more clear on what they actually are and whether or not they can help you get to where you want to go personally and professionally. If you want help doing this, if you want someone to lean on for experience, you know where to find me. There's a type form down below in the description. Go ahead, book a call. You'll be speaking to me or my team, and we'll see if we can possibly help you get from 0 to 10, get you to that magical milestone number. If not, we'll point you in the best direction. But there's no harm in having a conversation at the end of the day. So, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.